Hello, friends. Welcome to the first ever episode of our podcast called Not Too Young. Today, I'm joined by my fellow creator and writer Arjun.
That's me.
And in today's episode, we're going to talk about 6 tech and tools recommended for students in Malaysia for secondary school. So, any suggestions, Arjun?
Yes. The first tech tool I recommend is a laptop or a PC if you can.
Okay, it's especially important during this time currently when we are still in lockdown.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
how has your study method revolved or changed through using a laptop?
Well, the first study method I've had with the laptop is when the teacher would be presenting during a Google Meet class. I have the another window open on the left to write
Mhm.
down all my notes in Notion the app.
So,
Yeah.
when did you start using Notion? Like, was it only when lockdown started, or was it way before that?
Uh, no, actually, I started using it last year itself, before the lockdown last year. And I got
Okay.
familiar with it last year.
So, have you got any positive impact on using this laptop during
Oh,
lockdown?
It's one thing I can definitely say has improved is my handwriting because now in laptop there's
Because
no
you don't
handwriting at
write.
all. Yes. So and my handwriting at school the worst handwriting of the whole class. Now that's not a problem anymore. And also another thing, my notes are more organized, so I don't have to like fumble through a bunch of papers to get them. I just
Okay. So,
open them.
speaking about studying, so let's touch a bit about studying. So, what was how does like your learning work on Notion? Can you like explain it a bit? Not too in depth. We have a blog post
Oh,
coming soon. Just a touch.
well, I use the Cornell notes system to take notes, which means like on the top of the page there would be the the topic name,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the left would be the questions, and then on the right would be the answers to those questions. So the page is divided in half. The left is the questions, the right is like the answer to those questions, and at the bottom there's a summary section.
Okay, so are you still continue to using it or
Uh,
uh?
currently, currently not. I don't use it as much,
Mm-hmm.
but I still do use it here and there.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, that's one recommendation: laptop or PC. Can I know what you're using, Arjun?
I'm using a HP Pavilion laptop, the new model. So this one, instead of the purple keyboard, it has the green sort of theme to it,
Okay.
and it's meant for gaming, but it works fine for studying also.
Okay, so yes, so that is a suggestion by Arjun.
Yes. Now, Myson, would you like to suggest a
Yes.
tech or tool that
So
you like to use?
the thing that I would suggest for every secondary school student, or basically any student, is a watch.
Ooh, a watch. Do you mean like a smartwatch or a normal watch?
Just normal watch.
Oh, why do
Can
you
be an
think it's
analog
so?
watch or digital watch.
Oh, okay. So how does it help you?
So a watch basically, I know this is a very general thing, but then normally now in online classes it doesn't help too much because you have your laptop or your phone in front of you. But then when you are at school, it helps you see your time. And then I remember during school time, I would like set the timer to go off when school ends, during recess periods,
Oh,
during
nice.
class finishing and everything. And it also helps me be more organized with my time and everything. Because time management in secondary school, especially in our school, is very important. We go for a lot of activities,
I,
we
I,
and classes and everything. So yeah, I really recommend a watch.
I, if I, what watch do you use? Like,
I use a G-Shock watch.
oh, okay.
It's big, just perfect for my hand.
I, I agree with the watch. I also use the watch. My one is a bit more like a calculator watch.
That one is a bit more complicated, a calculator watch, right?
Yeah. So far, it doesn't
Okay,
help much, but
so moving on, we have another suggestion from Arjun. Can we know all what is it?
oh yes. Uh, I also recommend a smartphone, or if
Oh,
the yes, continue.
so smartphone. I'm not quite sure with that. Never mind. So how has that helped?
Well, if the reason you choose a smartphone is like if you can't afford a computer or just one tool, then the thing I recommend is a smartphone because you can find them for very cheap. My one costs 500 ringgit, which is equivalent to I think £100,
Mhm.
and they can basically do everything a computer can, but it's just much slower. But if you can't afford like a computer or any other thing, and you just want one gadget, then I recommend a smartphone. It's like the
Smartphone.
minimum studying for digital.
Okay, so do you do any studying in the smartphone, or is it just since you have a laptop? So like just to know, if you have a laptop, is a smartphone really worth it?
Well, I think it is worth it too because I have this app called Anki on my smartphone
Mhm.
and my laptop. And how it works is like a flashcard app, which means I can just open the app and then it will test me some questions. So with a smartphone, I can do that on the go, no matter where I am at.
Okay. So would you recommend a smartphone for
Yes.
every student, or
For students who can't afford a computer, I'd recommend a smartphone. But if you already have a computer and don't want to buy a smartphone, then I don't think you need a smartphone, but it will always help.
okay? Okay. So that's a suggestion from Arjun.
Yes. So now back to you again. What would you suggest?
So what I would suggest is, so I'm currently using a noise cancelling earphone,
Uh,
and this helps me really a lot because I have two very loud siblings. So they're always playing downstairs or shouting or running and everything. So so during online classes, what it helps me is it doesn't distract me. Like when I'm giving talks, like now when I'm
yes.
recording this podcast, I can't hear them. Yes,
Oh, yeah.
although you might have your door closed, the sound might still get to you. So yeah, I really recommend noise cancelling headphones or earphones. And the Bose ones are the best noise cancelling headphones. Although I don't have one, I wish I could have the headphones. But currently, I'm using the Apple earphone, and it is absolutely amazing.
Do you think like now I'm have a non noise cancelling headphone? Do you think I should upgrade or is a non noise cancelling headphone enough?
Okay, so this is how I see it. When you are upgrading things or tech, for example, for more specific, so is the thing you're having causing you pain? Like for instance, like not it's not pain, is it causing you like for me it's distractions. Okay, so is it
Yes.
causing you distractions?
Well, distractions is quite big and bulky, so it, like bumps into everything, and it does cause pain also. If, like that's what you mean. My left, I don't know why the left part of the headphone always makes my left ear pain
Okay,
because
so
I think it's too small.
based on what you said, I still can't get it much clearer. But then you know how you feel. So if you still think if it's causing you a lot, that you will be able to do something when you have it rather than now, then I think you should recommend to upgrade it.
I also think should probably upgrade to noise cancelling headphone too.
Yeah,
That's it. Yeah.
and the cheapest one is only 150 ringgit in Lazada for Malaysians and 50 pounds for the UK.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This is an interesting part of the podcast. We have some things that Arjun uses. He just started using it recently, and he said has changed his studying. So he has a tablet and a stylus.
Oh,
Can you tell us how has it transformed your learning process?
okay. Yes, I do recommend a tablet and especially a stylus too.
Ah,
The general convention is that a tablet is like a replacement to the computer. Like if you can't get a computer, you'll get a tablet.
like the iPad for the Mac.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But I think it's actually good to have a tablet and a computer if you can. Yes. And the reason is on a tablet you can uh with a stylus you can draw easily on a tablet, whereas on a computer you'd have to draw with your mouse and it won't be fast and also not that good. And uh
Okay, but drawing is mostly only for art. So, but then back in Malaysia, we use paper and pencil to draw art. So what I've heard from you is that you use this to help you memorize
Oh,
the drawing method.
yes. So
So
this is a
can you touch on it a bit?
sure. For history is a very boring subject in Malaysia, and sadly we have to learn it. So the way
Up to
uh,
5.
up to Form 5, so never not going to get rid of it soon. So the way I've sort of tackled this boringness is by
Mm.
using the drawing method. So basically, I read through the book,
Okay.
read through the chapter, and then after I done that, I take out my tablet, the stylus, and I start drawing out the events that happen.
Okay, so for
And
example, if a war happens, then you start drawing like a miniature
yes,
war craft.
and then maybe like one word, one country attacks another country, X out the other country.
That is a very interesting way to study, and of course, I'm going to be trying it.
Yes, but
Okay.
also other than that, if you generally like hand drawn notes or you feel
Mm-hmm.
better with writing, but maybe you don't like to use paper or you want to save paper, then tablet also would be a good replacement for that because with the tablet you can just delete the hand drawn notes or uh, undo it anytime you like. With pen, of course, you can't undo it. It's just you write a line, it'll stay there forever. Maybe if you have correction tape, the correction tape will get quite messy. So
Mm-hmm.
I think with the tablet, if you can, you should have it on the side of a computer, or if you don't want, then you can also make it like a miniature computer with a keyboard case.
Yes,
My
so
tab,
now they have
uh,
the Apple Magic Keyboard case for the iPad. Also, I
I,
think Samsung has also come up with one.
I, but
Okay,
also,
and yes,
if you have an iPad and like don't can't afford like the keyboard case or the model is not correct, then you can find one off of the like not like
the
not
cheaper one
re-
from
yeah,
another store, from third
yeah,
party.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, okay, moving on. This recommendation is very fundamental to the both of us. Both of us strongly agree about the recommendation. So, Arjun, can you tell us what it is?
All of us. So the thing we always use in class and in online school are sticky notes.
Yes, it's very important.
Uh, the way we kind of use it in class, we would when a teacher would like give a key piece of information or tell a
Yes.
question and answer it, we would write
Mhm.
down the question or the topic name, the information name, and then we would write down the info. And then when we go back home, we can look at the sticky note and convert it into maybe a flashcard or keep it in our notes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And also, bullet journal. So, can you tell us a bit
Oh,
about how you use bullet journals?
bullet journals they have a similar function to sticky notes, but I think they are more
Organized.
useful to carry around because you the way I do it is I carry a bullet journal around,
Okay.
and when I maybe get an idea or have a task that I need to do, I'll write it down in the bullet journal so
Mm-hmm.
I can look back at it later and I can write down my ideas so I won't forget them. Yes. How about
Okay.
you? How do you use
So,
sticky notes and bullet journals?
sticky notes. So, what I do is, so every year in Malaysia, you have to return the textbook unharmed without any
Oh,
scribbles in the
yes.
textbook. And during like revision, so what I do is, I'll write extra information from other like online websites on the history topic or like revision books
Ah,
and everything on sticky note, and then I will put it on my textbook at the relevant page or topic. So how this works
oh,
is I have everything on my textbook, but now I've sort of changed it. My sticky note acts as a to-do list. So now that we are at home,
oh,
we have a lot of projects. So I write it down on my sticky note, paste it on the wall. And
oh,
then about the bullet journal, I have a journal where I write every morning and every night. So every night I'll do this exercise called homework for life, which we will talk about more in another blog or podcast.
mm,
So what homework for life is, so every night before you go to bed, you write down the most interesting thing that happened that day. So I always do that with my journal. Then I also do like okay, so this is another very important thing. So I also write down the date of when I want all my works finished. Like I have my to-do list on the sticky note on the wall, and so my
Oh.
journal is like my date for spaced repetition when I study this topic a day and the next topic the next week, next month, and so on. So yeah, it's
Oh.
very useful for me in that
Oh, yeah.
sense.
Nice. With like homework for life, I also kind of do it in a similar way, but I do it different now. So that's another
Okay,
benefit of
we'll
having a tablet.
we'll talk about homework life another time.
Nice.
So yes, friends, that is it for our first episode. Yeah, it's been a very nice chat. Okay, so yeah, make sure to subscribe to Substack. Subscribe to nottooyoung.substack.com, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching.